Hi, everyone, and welcome to AACAP 2023 here at the PsychChild booth. My name is Dr. Ashvin Sood, and I am honored to be interviewing the wonderful Dr. Argelinda Baroni from NYU.
You pronounce it perfectly.
Oh, nailed
Great
it. I was
preparation.
practicing it. Okay.
Yes.
So today, we're talking to child psychiatrists about everything social media, digital media related. And I wanted to see and get your opinion or just your understanding of, we can start overall with the electronic device and what drew you into understanding about tech, and then get into that kind of topic of attention economy.
Of course. So I practice as a child psychiatrist in an emergency department setting. For those of you who are from New York, I'm in a child CPAP. For those of you outside of New York, it's basically a specialized brief observation unit with emergency evaluation in General Hospital, in this case, Bellevue Hospital in New York City.
Gotta love Bellevue.
Yes. And I've been working there since 2010. When I was a fellow, so a very long time. And so this means I have witnessed to the transition from other form of entertainment to digital media. And it's been quite interesting to observe, and things I've witnessed in the emergency room had made me very interested in the addictiveness of these devices. I often say to parents that come to see us because their child destroyed the room when they removed the phone, or when their child threatened to kill themselves because they don't have their cell phone available anymore, that this did not used to happen with TV. I've never seen a child prior that wanted to kill themselves because mom switched off the TV or because mom removed comic books.
Sure.
And the level of saliency and emotional investment that kids have in their devices became actually an interest to me. So, as you maybe know, NYU gives the possibility to child psychiatrists to develop a course for undergraduate within the College of Art and Science, and so I developed a course on internet addiction.
Got it.
As part of that, sort of my interest in these devices grew. What I think a lot of young people don't realize, or maybe they have a very superficial understanding, is how much these devices are engineered to be addictive.
That's absolutely correct.
And I know that teenagers, adolescents, they want to be in charge. They don't want adults or other people to be in charge. What sometimes they missed is that they feel they're being in charge using their cell phone 12 hours per day. But in reality, they're just obeying to very simple behavioral rules, which are, which exploit our own collective physiological weaknesses.
So I think this is a fascinating topic because we talk about free will, we talk about kids like having that agency and feeling empowered.
Absolutely.
But then you're talking about the idea of, I'm just going to throw out like social applications we talk about, such as TikTok, Snapchat, Meta, Instagram. You're talking about behavioral tricks and skills that those companies kind of implement, which kind of influence.
Trick.
Okay, let's say trick. Trick the child or the teen into using it more. Could you talk about what some of those tricks are?
Well, they're actually relatively simple. As you probably know, we have two kinds of attention. We have top-down attention, which is the attention we use to write a paper. If we think about
okay,
college
top-down
student.
attention to write a paper. All right.
Something that is like goal-directed, and we also have bottom-up attention. It's the attention that allow you to not be hit by a car, because something which moves, something which is noisy, attracts our attention immediately. The other things which attract our automatic attention are all threatening or salient stimuli. So, sex, violence, goriness, fear, etc. So if you think about headlines, they employ all of these tricks as a way to maintain more time on machine.
Right.
And the social media platform, and in general, all platforms, utilize these strategies to keep us engaged. So the phone vibrates, the phone rings. All of this ends up creating habits, which then becomes very hard to change, because when we have habits, we don't have prefrontal cortex involved anymore. We just go straight to our basal ganglia. And so that makes it very hard and makes it very automatic. And so you're not really in charge anymore. And so my point is, and I say this to my students, to my patients all the time, I want you to be in charge. I don't want the big companies to be in charge of your mind. And so I think they become much more interesting when they realize that it's not just they want it, but they are, how can I say, led to want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I have a 15-month-old, and I throw on YouTube Kids or Netflix Kids, and it's immediately bombarded with bright colors. And they're drawn. And I do it because I'm exhausted as a parent, but I also understand. I'm like, it has this captivating way, and especially with the phone, captivating way to just keep that attention. And I guess what you're saying is this bottom-up approach, this reactionary kind of aspect.
Yes. Unfortunately, even our goal-directed attention can be hacked, because we are creature which evolved obviously to find food, but in human beings, seeking information has sort of utilized the same foraging strategies that we utilized as animals in the wild. Mm-hmm. So if you think how many times you have been doing sort of a rabbit hole kind of search with something which was not really relevant to what you were doing. Like I always say to my patients, to my students, I look for Britney Spears' age. So how is this going to improve my life? Zero. But I do it because we also have this sort of tendency to go from information to information to information. And so some of this is going to be to teach young people what is cost benefit of our action around electronic devices.
So I have a bit of a tangent question, but it is actually popping up in my head right now.
You can ask me anything you want.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Baroni. We get to the pandemic. Every child is in front of a screen. Every child is socially distanced and working in remote learning. Mm-hmm. We have this rise in attention issues that we say, is this new onset ADHD that's not, something that we weren't screening for? Or is it more of the deficits we're seeing because the attention has been hijacked or taken over by constant bombardment of these kind of images? And this is a heavily loaded question, but I'm just trying to... I get that comment a lot.
We tend to think that there is less boredom tolerance and higher need for stimulation. And if you have these two things going together, you tend to have less quality attention.
Yes.
I think that we should rehabilitate boredom as a very important skill to have. I think we should learn how to have boredom tolerance. How many things do you do in your life which are boring?
That's fair.
I mean, all of us. I mean, all of us who have a complex job or highly functioning life, we end up doing things which are boring. And I think young people have to tolerate some level of boredom because it's a good skill to have.
Yes. Yes.
Even in the best job.
Oh my gosh, that is absolutely. It's such a good way to kind of position that, because I often find myself being like, my attention span has gone down too, with writing notes or documenting or having to read a book, and how difficult that is without the stimulation that you would see on your algorithms on YouTube and TikTok. Do you ever implement parental controls in any of these apps or guide parents to do so, or is it more of the empowerment aspect?
No, I do both. It depends on the problem. It depends on the age of the child. Yeah. If I could, I would advise all parents with young children to have few clear guidelines. So no devices during meals, no devices at bedtime or in the bedroom. I was part of the debate today, and what I said is there is nothing positive from having a teenager with a cell phone in their bedroom.
I heard.
So it's kind of what I believe. And then the other things is about how do you use it wisely, how much parents, have monitored their own behaviors around devices, and how much you can advising people about what's healthy and what's unhealthy. Parental control sometimes they are needed. I think for nighttime, I'm in favor of using it. I have parents who have to switch off the Wi-Fi.
Yep.
I told them, just switch off the Wi-Fi. Call the company and says you're going to disconnect this child.
Yep, absolutely. Cut
Phone
the
service.
Wi-Fi. Kids and teens can figure ways around that, so just remember
I'm sure.
as well. Yeah. Last question, and it's more of a theoretical question and just a good guess, but how do you see the algorithms or the applications, are they going to get better at getting our attention?
Yes, so the best one is TikTok. If you haven't watched it, would recommend the PBS documentary, TikTok Boom.
TikTok Boom.
Yes,
I
it's
love
a
that.
very good documentary about TikTok, and it shows that the Chinese company, which
Douyin?
what's it?
Douyin?
Yes.
Or ByteDance?
Yes,
Yeah.
that originally, basically they didn't even know English. So the algorithm was so strong that was able to guess very quickly personal preferences just on virtue of the massive data they have.
Yeah.
So yes, the algorithm are pretty good. I think this is actually a societal problem.
Yeah.
I think people should have more control on their data, and there should be, I feel a lot of young people feel, well, that's the way it is, because they haven't encountered anything else. And so they feel it's okay if I get monitored. It's okay if they spy my desire. I think it is a question for society. Is this okay?
Yeah.
Is this what we want as a society? But it's a very larger question, and I think it's something that, collectively needs to be decided. Because right now we just give up the decision to corporation.
Absolutely. We hand it right on over, especially when you write all those consent forms, I accept, and a cookie, and you say,
Well,
hey,
it's
take my
impossible
data.
to do anything else. Actually, European community is being a little bit stricter now.
It
They
is.
require more parental oversight for younger children. So we'll see what happens with that.
Absolutely. Well, I am here with the wonderful Dr. Baroni. I've had the pleasure of learning all about attention economy and how bottom-up thinking can be hijacked, as well as top-down thinking as well. And how do we deal with that as clinicians and physicians? Thank you so much for joining us. It was such a pleasure. And for anyone listening or watching on, if you'd like to learn more, follow us at PsychChild.com. Thanks.